Hi, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song for our first time after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day,
Every day.
so make sure to hit that subscribe button
And turn on, and ding that post notification bell.
so you don't miss out on all this great content of ours.
That's right.
So what are we going to listen to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to All I Have to Do Is Dream by the Everly Brothers.
This is a song we've heard many times before, and in fact, we do our own cover of this song, and we'll put the link to that in the description below if you feel like you want to check that out.
Sure.
For all intents and purposes, we'll call this our 1000th time listening to the song.
If you're new to the channel, what we like to do here is listen to the song all the way through without stopping so as not to disrupt the intention of the artist. And then afterwards, we'll talk about it, go into depth with some analysis, and maybe talk about some history if we should know about the song.
Before we do that, just want to remind you all, as we usually do, that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes like this one, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to All I Have to Do Is Dream by the Everly Brothers.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you. And all your charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night, and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 dream.
Got to give it up for that tremolo guitar.
Tremolo guitar, that's a classic, late 50s, early 60s sound to use this tremolo guitar that, has some reverb on it,
It's so good. It makes it so classic. And then, as you were talking before about these
what's cool
harmonic...
is, the guitar does these harmonics, and it has like a melodic quality to it. Ba-da-do-da-da, and then it repeats that on the harmonics of the guitar. Again, something that we noticed before on a different recording, it doesn't have those harmonics, and it just
But
starts
it's
playing
weird
something
because
slightly
it
different.
seems like the same recording, except that these harmonics were added afterward.
I wonder if
to
actually
this recording.
if there was some sort of remaster done of it, because maybe the guitarist was doing it. Maybe it was like some other taker. I don't know. It's weird.
Because I mean everything else sounds the same.
Yeah, everything else sounds the same. Although there is something in the quality, they aren't. You can hear in the beginning they're a little bit out of tune, actually, or one of them is. And I think on this recording, you can hear that a little bit more, maybe. But anyway, for the most part, though, there is something so silky about their harmonies.
Sure,
classic third harmonies and thirds, those.
Sure, I mean, but there's also, the way they attack their notes is very soft too. They don't like dump on the notes. They don't go dream when I want you in my. They don't go arms. They go in my arms.
They do.
They kind of like not scoop. They don't.
They scoop. No, they do actually at times scoop in together. Actually, and you can actually really notice. There's a live performance of them. You can see online. I'm pointing to my computer. There's a live performance of them, and it's done a little bit slower. And I actually prefer that performance. I think they're really in sync with each other. And one of them, I don't know who I'm quoting here, but one of them had said at one point that I didn't have to even speak to my brother about it. I knew when he was going to do something, and I knew when to follow, when to take that lead, and they knew when to do stuff together instinctually because they had done it since they were kids together. So when they scoop, everything's everything's harmonized in tune with each other.
But it's interesting that they don't
even when they scoop.
They try not to like attack so hard on it because if they did, it would kind of ruin the softer quality of the song.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know if I would like the way I had mentioned silky as being the quality of their harmonies.
I wouldn't call it silky.
It's not silky. It's something there's a resonance to it that is
an angelic quality, really.
Yeah, angelic. Yes, angelic is fair, but there is there's this purity of it, I guess.
Sure, purity, yeah.
There's a purity of it.
Pureness, rather.
Huh?
Pureness.
A pureness, yeah. And that, and there's a resonance to it. There's this kind of indefinable resonance that when their harmonies are together, there's a buzz to it. You know what I mean? There's a kind of a buzz that's a pleasing buzz, if that makes any sense,
Well, they were all the buzz. I'm sure there was a lot of buzz going around about the Everly Brothers.
Sure.
I'm just joking. But yeah, I mean, sorry. What are their?
You know what I mean?
Names again?
If you ever been in a chorus actually, and things are really in tune with each other, there's a resonance
that they create extra notes.
That actually, what happens is actually harmonics. You can't hear it in the recording, of course, but. There's harmonic. If people are exactly in tune with each other, at least just intonation wise, you can actually hear harmonics being formed.
So
like
kind of
higher tones that are being accentuated, that are not, what you're trying to sing. Actually,
Sorry, remind me of their first names again. Don
and Phil Everly.
Don and Phil Everly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which one always sang the harmony and which one sang the lead? It was usually split like that, right?
Phil would sing. Well, that was the thing about the Everly Brothers. Phil I think would take the lead usually, or I mean that's the thing about them. Often is their harmonies. You can pick and choose which one is to you is the lead.
Well, I think on this song, definitely one voice is kind of louder.
Well, I think Don would definitely take the higher. He had a more tenor voice, I think, and on other songs like
Kathy's Clown or Bye Bye.
Yeah,
Love.
Kathy's Clown. The verses. When you see me shed a tear would be by Phil. Phil would do that. I believe I'm getting that right.
It's funny because when Max and I sing together and harmonize together, we trade off who sings the lead and who sings the harmony. It's
with the different songs.
Yeah, depending on the song.
Well, actually, even in the same song,
sure.
we might even.
It depends on the song, and because our vocal ranges are pretty similar.
I was wrong. Sorry, Don was the one that would take. He was the older one, so he would actually take the lead more, and Phil was the. That's an interesting thing about them. They broke. They split apart for a long time, and then they had a comeback. I think in the 80s or maybe the 70s. They would have comebacks every now and then. But I think one thing that they disagreed upon. Well, in the early 60s, I mean, I think Don had a drug problem, so that kind of partially led to some downfall in their career a little bit. But they actually broke apart, I think, because of politics. Actually, they politically disagreed. They were on opposite sides of the political spectrum.
How about that?
Yeah.
Two close brothers.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, there's a story about Jimmy Stewart.
And actually, I think.
Okay.
Oh wow! I didn't know Don Everly died recently. Oh wow, I didn't know that he died in 2021. But Phil Everly, when he died, Don officially made it clear. He's like he said he never was politically vocal because of Phil, but when he died, he said, I can now say that we actually disagreed on politics, and that Phil was more right wing and Don was more left wing.
Interesting.
Interestingly,
That's kind of like Jimmy Stewart and his best friend Henry Fonda. They both, you know, Henry Fonda was very much a liberal Democrat, and
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart was conservative, right wing, Republican, and they were best friends. And they got into a really big argument one night, and they said from then on, in order for us to remain friends, we can't talk about politics with each other ever again. And they remained the best of friends until, I guess, Henry Fonda died. But
right. Anyway, it's just interesting to know that they were opposite sides of the political spectrum, and yet they still could remain friends. And that's something that I think we should take to heart.
But what about this song?
I know we went really off topic.
Obviously the lyrics are pretty, sophomoric. I mean, they're
well, no, I wouldn't call them sophomoric. Why would you?
No, they're great lyrics, but they're not.
Why would you say sophomoric? Though
I'm sorry, I said sophomoric. I didn't mean it like that.
Well, yeah,
I
take
saying,
offense. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're pretty simple lyrics, but
I can make. It's actually kind of a song anytime, night or day. Only trouble is gee whiz. I mean, gee whiz.
Maybe gee whiz is not the well. Back then, I think you wouldn't have thought so much about it.
This was written by the Boudreaux, if I'm not...
yes, something like... No, the Bryants, actually.
The Bryants.
One of them is Felice and Boudleaux Bryant.
Oh, Boudleaux.
Or maybe it's Boudleaux Briand, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Boudleaux Briand.
Wow, they wrote a few of their stuff.
I know they did.
wrote Bye Bye Love also. I thought
know.
that was an original of theirs, actually.
But, only trouble is, I mean, a lyric like "Gee Whiz," that's a very, it's pretty innocent and naive.
Well, it just sounds maybe a little, I don't know.
Vanilla, I guess.
Vanilla. Well, but then again, this was made in the late 50s.
Sure.
It might have been fine for them.
I'm dreaming my life away. Gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. That's an interesting lyric. That's a good lyric.
That's why I think when you said sophomoric, I was like, no, actually, they're actually pretty interesting.
Well,
lyrics.
But when I said that, I meant lyrics like "Gee whiz," but maybe from a modern,
No, I think it's interesting. He's like,
standpoint.
In order to be close to you, all I have to do is dream. But it's interesting. He said,
but only
I can make
is,
your mind taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away.
I'm not actually doing this in real life.
I'm not doing this in real life. That's a very interesting, sophisticated lyric.
It is very sophisticated. You're right.
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
There you go.
Corrected.
Yeah. I guess gee whiz would be my only problem about
that
this
I could die. I love you so.
I mean,
and that is why
I think even mentioning like something like "die" in a pop song, I think that there's an interesting quality to that. I need you so that I can die.
Well,
I think
I feel like
I know that's not.
I feel like lyrical content back then was kind of melodramatic in a way.
Yeah,
very melodramatic. That is some kind of a sophomoric emotion or a way of expressing your emotions.
No, I think you're thinking of it a little. I don't think of it as okay. Maybe no, but there's something slightly. I mean, one can interpret it. There's something slightly. It's almost he's obsessed. There's like an obsession.
Right. He's a little bit.
It's an obsessed quality to this.
Now that's an interesting interpretation.
Yes. Yeah. There's an obsessed quality, and yet he doesn't have the reality of it in real life.
Wow. One could interpret this song as being taken from the narration of a crazy man or crazy woman.
Wait, is it I need you so, I love you so that I can die? Or is it I need you so that I can die? Well, I forget. Well, anyway, I think, even just saying, well, no. I mean, maybe I'm looking at it too far by saying I need you so. You could interpret it that way.
No, I don't think so.
But I think that's just something that,
But, it's a great, catchy
and there's
ballad.
There's not a whole lot going on instrument wise,
It's got these drums.
There's a upright bass, it sounds like.
And the
And the electric guitar, actually, I do think there might have been, this is a mono, so you can't tell very well, but I think there was an acoustic guitar playing, strumming along, I think.
But it's a great song. It's a great ballad from the late 50s, and we love it.
And I think that'll do for our reaction to this song.
If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max Nicky reaction videos. Oh, and if you're interested, we'll put the link to our own cover of this song in the description below. So make sure to check that out if you so desire.
Please keep tuning in.